It's time for an exercise now. In this exercise, we're going to try out some of the concepts we've learned in this unit. And we're going to be doing this by using a list of person objects. It's going to be a custom object, it's a custom class called person. We're going to create a list of those objects and we're going to try out a few operations on that list using the Java 7 way and the new Java 8 Lambda way. So I'm going to create this class here. I'm going to say new class. I call this unit 1 exercise. So this is going to be a starting point for you to work on. I have a main method here, and this is where I'm going to be adding some stuff, and I will expect you to implement some of these steps using lambdas. So I'm going to create a person class first because we'll be using that to create our list. So this person class is going to contain a bunch of private variables and public getters and setters. So let's say I want to have something like a name, a first name, a last name, and an age. I'm going to spare you all the typing. I've just copy pasted this stuff. So it's basically 3 member variables: the first name, the last name, and the age. There is a constructor here which takes in those 3 member variables and then sets it. So we can create these person objects easily. We have getters and setters for all those 3 member variables, and then we have a toString method which prints out the person object in a nice format. Now this is what we're going to be using in our exercise. So I'm going to create a list of person objects, people, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to initialize this list with the arrays.forList method. So the arrays.forList takes in a list of, I'm going to import arrays. It's going to take in a list of person objects, and it's going to give me a list that I can assign to this people variable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this person object constructor with a bunch of values. I've copy pasted these constructors again in the interest of time. So I have like a bunch of person objects being created with a first name, a last name, and an age, so that it calls that constructor here and it creates those objects. And this is arrays.asList, which is the method which takes in inline elements and it creates an object. Sorry about that. Okay, now I have this list here, and what I want to do is I want to first sort this list by last name. That's the first step, right? So step 1, sort list by last name. And then step 2, create a method that prints all elements in the list. And then step 3, create a method that prints that have last name beginning with C. So these are the 3 things that we should do. That's this exercise, right? You have a list of people here. First, sort it by the last name, and then create a method that prints all those elements. You can actually call this here as a part of step 2. And then step 3, create a method that prints all the people, which is same as step 2, but with the condition of the last name beginning with the letter C. So in this case, this would just be Lewis Carroll and Thomas Carlyle. Now, how you implement this method really depends on what approach you choose. You can either choose the Java 7 approach, and you can have inline implementations of objects, or you can do the Java 8 way and create lambdas. So what I'm going to do in the next tutorial is try both of them out, right? I'm going to have the Java 7 implementation, and then I'm going to have the Java 8 implementation so that you can compare and contrast. So this is the exercise. Give it a shot, and I'll see you in the next tutorial where I'll walk through the solution.